David Rivett serves Queen Anne's County as the Assistant Chief for the Department of Emergency Services. He talked with us about the town hall meeting held Wednesday evening, August 2nd at Mattapique Elementary School. Here's the latest on what's happening with our neighbors in Queen Anne's County.
Last night we had our first community meeting. We were calling it the Tornado Recovery Town Hall, and it was, as far as I'm concerned, a total success. We probably had about 150 to 200 community members that came out and spoke to us. We had Queen Anne County government was there, the commissioners, county administrator, department heads from every department within the county. Department of Emergency Services was there, Red Cross, Ken Island Fire Department was represented by their president and chiefs. County Schools was there. I mean, it was a large crowd, and we were trying to address unmet needs last night and gaps that may be identified at this point during the recovery. We also had a report on debris management, where things are and where we're going with things. The community asked a few questions about that, just so that they understood what our intent was and what they could expect. It went very well. We'll be meeting again in 2 weeks. I got to confirm the date, and we will publicize what that day is. But it looks like 2 weeks from Wednesday. It's been very, very fortunate that nobody was killed during this. For a storm of that magnitude to come in at 1:30 in the morning through a community of that size, and nobody. We had one injury and no deaths is what's incredible in itself.
Totally amazing. Everything else can be rebuilt.
That's correct. We can always replace sheet metal and 2x4s and drywall. That's all. Those type of things can be replaced, and but you can't replace the human life. And we were just so fortunate.
Well, there's a lot of blessings, I'm sure, that everyone's finding out. But in the middle of the loss, do we have the resources from state and federal government? Do we ever get a declaration for, like, FEMA or something?
So where we are right now, we do have a local state of emergency by the county. I am working with my state partners at Maryland Emergency Management Agency. We do have a 60-day window to file a state of emergency with the state. The governor's office has been in contact every day. We've heard from Congressman Harris, in fact, who was down yesterday and walked the site with us and took his report. Senator Hershey and a lot of our delegates. Everybody in Annapolis is doing their part, and in D.C. as well. Right now, we're working on, still through the assessment process, trying to get a handle on just how much this is going to cost. The insurance companies themselves have been out. I believe that we're probably in the high 90s as far as percent complete with the insurance company meeting their policyholders and starting to issue checks. We're still in the midst of debris management. As you can imagine, this is a established neighborhood with large diameter trees. They were all very tall. And we have set up a grinder site to reduce all the damaged trees and limbs and what have you to mulch that is being given away. And just in about 7 days, we have trucked out over 30 truckloads of mulch.
Is that the Bay City primarily community?
Bay City is the primary community. They had the old growth trees there. There is a couple more communities that were townhomes it's new. They really didn't have any effect as far as trees went, but they took a direct hit and has done substantial structural damage to some of the homes.
Oh, the pictures are just, I just wonder why we didn't have some warning that this was possible.
And that's a good question. We've already started a internal investigation. Normally, we get everything that it initiates from the National Weather Service. It goes through the phone carriers and other emergency alerting systems. It's something right now that the alerts came out for a majority of folks, but it came out after the tornado had already passed through Bay City. Some got it just prior, but there is a problem there. So right now, we're investigating that with our partners at Maryland Emergency Management Agency. We'll be involving FEMA, who has a product called IPAWS, which is part of the emergency alerting system as well, and of course also with National Weather Service, Mount Holly, who covers our area. I've heard conversations that the waterspout which this formed from, they're hard to detect. But once the tornado does touch ground, then they're able to see that and confirm it with radar and go from there. But I am not the weather expert and don't pretend to be one. So it's a work in progress, and the intent is to try to have some sort of answer on why things were so slow as to alerting the neighbors in the affected areas, and hopefully have that within about 2 weeks.
The potential for danger is certainly there. It's got to be decades since something like this hit over in Queen Anne's on Kent Island.
Well, 40 years.
40 years, is that right?
And that was based on some other information we received from other county agencies, but some of the folks here say it was at least 40 years ago. Of that size and devastation. I think in 76 or 72, and I believe it affected the Churchill area, which is the north side of the county.
Is there anything that we've talked about that can't be used for broadcast reports, sir?
No, and I think as far as donations, what have you, Christ Church on Kent Island will be taking financial donations, and the other items, clothing, food items, household needs, will be going to Kent Island United Methodist Church, and they're located on Cox Neck Road also. You can contact them and make arrangements to drop off donations there. They are handling all of that. They're very receptive, and they've been a great partner thus far during this initial phases of the tornado recovery.
Deputy Chief, I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly.
It's David Rivett, Rivett.
Rivett.
Yep.
Okay. That was the part I was worried about. The David I kind of had nailed down, I think.
Yeah, common name. But, yeah, absolutely. Again, we're so appreciative and no loss of life. We're appreciative of all the volunteers that have come out from other communities, other corporations. It has just been an awesome response. And, even though I think we're at day 10 right now, we've got a long ways to go. We're looking at probably total restoration of reconstruction may take as long as 2 years, but the next month or so are going to be the tough days trying to get this debris out of there and getting everybody back to a new normal as we progress.
A new normal. That's one way to put it, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Well, listen, I appreciate your time, Chief Rivett.
Okay.
And we will be in touch. And please, may I give you my email to make sure that we are on top of this next time you have a meeting?
Sure.
We promoted it heavily yesterday for the last evening meeting, and I think we have a pretty good audience for our Queen Anne's County listeners. Please keep us in the loop. We would love to be available to get the messaging out, help you promote this, where the donations can be turned in, like you said, the churches and the meetings and so forth.
Awesome.
All right?
I appreciate your support, Jane. I really do.
Oh, well, we appreciate you and all you're doing, and just wish we could do more. It's one of those times where the boots on the ground, really, that's what helps. That's what matters.
Well, we're so thankful to all the media companies that have come out to us during this time, and it's been factual reporting. We haven't had anybody come through. Again, we thank everybody.
All right. Deputy Chief David Rivett, thank you so much. As he said, another meeting is planned for August 16th, the venue to be determined. Keep it tuned to your hometown station, 1430 WNAV, and we will pass along that information as soon as it becomes available. Jane Schlegel, 1430 WNAV News.